in the second and final half of these 2 videos for the daily that I didn't do for last weekend because I was busy, obviously, with work and all that, but other things as well. But I guess, yeah, I actually didn't even have a fourth upload for the Thursday content creation thing though. But yeah, at least there are 3 other videos, including one with a thumbnail. Yeah, but anyways, today is the 2 of 2 is going to be about seeing the light at the end of the tunnel after 10 plus years. Now, what does this pertain? It includes things like my pornography addiction. It includes the fact that I have a very depressing yet beautiful life story. It includes even things of like the nature of I don't know if high-functioning autism quite gets there yet, but it can to a degree, if even more than I realize. But there's also the fact that I actually did everything for a reason. And so with this whole gambit, I think, because people don't want to believe in milestones, they want to see things as more as like a lifestyle or as a subjective experience, or like you're always learning every day. You truly know nothing, etc., etc., etc. But really, for me, I'm the kind of insightful and brilliant person who knows that his wisdom is sustainable, like as I said in earlier videos. So I actually managed to have sustainable wisdoms that I take for granted. I say that in a good way all the time, even the content creation I did last week. That it's something that I actually take for granted in a good way. I actually have these wisdoms that I can use that can prove to myself, at least, that there are milestones I'm aiming for that can and will be achievable, because I know that they can. And they don't have to dismiss the idea of subjectivenesses of life, or the truths or facts, whichever one, of the same contrast, of how that works, whether life is 100% subjective or not, by experience or whatever. But I have those milestones to keep in mind, and I actually, I feel like with that in mind, I have reached a certain milestone where I feel like I'm at the end. I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I could be wrong, but even if I was, I wouldn't have to be too dismissive of that factor alone. It just feels good to know that things are working in my favor. I mentioned 2 milestones in some of the videos I think before: October 2020 and April 2021. Those are 2 months where I started really like configuring like the months and years and weeks of making my life better over time, even if it looked like it was getting worse for other people, I guess, or even myself. But I never saw myself as someone who's getting worse as a person. But I didn't always want to believe that was possible to get worse either, even if that literally is possible. But to be more specific, I was just getting to the point where I could be grateful for what was happening. I love what even some of my disadvantages are, because look at in terms of this. I'm a sensitive person that can be both good and bad. I'm a patient person that can be both good and bad. I'm a very thoughtful, ambitious, confident, creative, insightful, big memory, attractive. But I guess that would be an arrogant thing. But yeah, even if arrogant was a good or bad thing at the same time. But these things, there are some tragedies I'm suffering that are still ironically to my benefit. Like I said about being sensitive. Like imagine like being the kind of person like me who aesthetically, fetish-wise, I guess, aesthetically has a way to look at things that I'm emotionally disturbed about, and seeing that as a pro in itself. Because not just from the endurance and the strengthening of that kind of thing, but literally feeling good just for suffering. Like that's unbeatable stuff, man. It's like feeling good because of your suffering, not just because you could heal from it, but because you're suffering. And for me, I never had to believe that life was suffering, because I never knew the difference. I never knew what it was like, what it could be compared and contrasted from it. Because when you're only happy and when you're only depressed, you don't know the difference. I promise you. Even if you think you know, you don't. You just have to have something to compare to, and then go back to it at least once to see what the difference really is, if there's even a similarity as well. I really don't think that most people would know what even real depression was like unless they actually had happiness to compare it to. Vice versa, like anything that is only happy won't seem happy unless you have something bad to compare it to. That's the cliche, at least on that behalf. But and then so I'm just gonna stop here real quick, because I know I'm actually at 4:30. But I just want to stop by and say that I do see light in the tunnel. It feels really good. It doesn't have to be me actually being right or wrong even, but I just wanted to say that because I know that I can do this stuff. I know I can win. I know I can find the best life for myself, and so can you. Stay safe, everyone, because some is on the move. This is the last video too, so see you guys.